Well, according to 50 Cent, he had to make his way and talk to Trump about him not pardoning Mr. Sean Combs. Because, as we all know, formally, we found out that the Jane Doe was allegedly his baby mom's DJ. He was dealing with DJ during the timing of his so called, having his rock star life. And she happened to be, one of the so called ex workers. Y'all know what I really mean by that. So he ran down there. Oh, yeah. Yo, Donald Trump. Yo, I'm telling you, don't pardon Sean Combs, bro. Look what he was saying about you. Being a little girl. Because that's what 50 Cent is. He's a little girl. Turned into a little girl over the time of him being in this industry. He acting like, Nicky Barnes. When Nicky Barnes tried to rat on Guy Fisher and put him in jail for life over a girl. That's what 50 Cent is doing, acting like a little girl, getting mad because, 50 might have won the battle, but, Sean Combs really won the war. He had his girl giving her money, paying her bills and all of that. And, she got on the witness stand and committed perjury with her lies. But she kept it a buck, says, she does this for a living. So what can you say about that? Don't hate the player, hate the game. You heard? 50 mad. You mad. You mad. But this judge right here, Judge Submarinian, he is appointed by Joe Biden. So let's just say Joe Biden, his wishes are still being honored. He's still being honored. You know how he used to lock up black people during the 3 strikes you're outlaw, him and Bill Clinton. These are the judges that you got to worry about when you go to court. You got to worry about these radical left judges that has been appointed by Bill Clinton, Obama, Harris, Joe Biden. These judges is appointed for positions to do the mass incarceration of black people. So he's been appointed by Joe Biden. And of course, if you go back into the history, you'll understand of his history. The Arab slave trade was back in the timing of the Hebrew Israelites slave trade. Understand that they had black people in slavery as well for 1,200 years, especially when they didn't convert to Islam. So if you do their history, you'll find out the reason why Sean Combs is really not getting his bail, because of course these people are racist by nature, and I'm not afraid to say it no more. Like, I said what I said, and I don't care who don't like it. Who cares? He's been appointed by Joe Biden. Joe Biden is known to lock up black people anyway for a gram of, the white hard rock substance that was declared war on black people in the 80s, that put mass incarceration on black men and put a lot of forced kids and children in forced kids, such as myself, back in the 80s and the 90s. They was responsible for that, Mr. Joe Biden and Bill Clinton and all of them. But this is the reasons why Sean Combs is not getting bail, okay? They keep talking about, his 2 counts is going to bring in 15 years. First of all, a level one offender cannot get 30 years in jail. Let's be clear. Stop being dumb and sitting there spreading that narrative. That's a lie. You understand that? That's a lie. I have siblings down there, and I know they don't get no goddamn 30 years for a level 1 offender. It's not like he has a whole predicate felons or felonies on his rap sheet. So whoever keeps talking about he's getting all this 30 years and 20 years, no, he's not getting 20 years in jail. He's not. He's a level 1 offender. And if they did do that, he would have to bring him into a hearing. And he has to go, do appeal for that and bring him into the appellate. And they have to do a hearing why you feel he needs to have 30 years in jail when he's a first-time offender. That's how dumb people are. This is why you see people on the internet. People wasn't even out the trial. This trial was only 6 weeks, and you wasn't even doing your homework. Shout out to the podcaster. So he was the only one that was writing down every time anybody would speak. He has 5 books on just covering Sean Combs' trial alone. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all just be yapping. If you had any siblings that was down there, you would know how they operate down at MDC. Okay, I had siblings down there, and because of the fact that, he had a rap sheet, of course, but being that it was one charge of conspiracy, gave him 15 years. Okay, I've been to MDC, 500 Pearl Street. I'm very familiar with that place. In '06, I was down there. We wrote letters to the judge, just so he can get less of time, but he still got a 6-5 split. 6-5 split is 6 years in the feds, 5 years on federal parole. He was shackled and flew on a plane in Beckley, Virginia to do his time. Okay? So I know what I'm talking about. That's why when people be yapping on the internet, you don't even know what you're talking about. You just talking to be talking. Oh, he getting ready to do 30 years for that. No, he's not. Stop being stupid and know the law. This is why they get over on y'all, because y'all don't know what y'all doing. Y'all don't even know the law. There's levels to how they can charge you for how much time they can give you. And when y'all ask for prison reform, you ask for what? Prison reform for people to get drug programs, classes for domestic violence. You ask for other things that they can take alternatives instead of doing prison time, or get the help that they need while they serving a sentence. Hello, does that ring a bell? Prison reform? It doesn't, right? But they just being dumb. I'm gonna just say anything because it sounds cool. And oh yeah, he getting all that time. Yeah, I know he getting that. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know. You just yapping and running your mouth like y'all always do. Just talking to be talking. You know? But like I said, Judge Submarinian is appointed by Jim Crow Joe Biden. And if you know who Jim Crow Joe Biden is, you know the history. His wishes are still being honored and still locking up black people like he been doing. 75% of those prisons is filled with blacks. Understand that. So, of course, they want a serious conviction. But you know, with the lawyers he has, I'm pretty sure he's going to get a fair, time sentence in prison. Trying to give him something that he's not supposed to get. Oh, he had minors on the stand. No, he did not have minors neither. Stop lying. All of this false narratives. You know why? Because females lie, males lie too. People lie because they're humans. People lie on people all the time. And a lot of them was lying under perjury. Keep coming back and want to be revealed.